Hey, welcome to your mini course on Overwhelm. Overwhelm is a beast. It can shut you down. And if you have the tendency to get stuck when you're overwhelmed, then this is the right course for you. I have 5 very quick and easy solutions that remove overwhelm. You can use them individually or you can use them together. There are just 5 different methods that can be applied to your life to reduce and remove overwhelm. My name is Lana McMurray, and I'm the founder and owner of Free to Thrive Coaching. And I want to give a shout out to Marie Forleo and Michael Hyatt, 2 very genius people who I follow. I've learned a lot from them, and you might recognize some techniques. I like to give credit where credit's due, even though I've implemented these into my own life. And true, they're not the only ones teaching this, but I just want to acknowledge them. So, overcome overwhelm. That is our task today. So, you want something different, something better. Well, that's great. But the problem that we have is that there's just so much stuff going on. And in order to create anything significant in your life, you have to keep consistently moving forward. And consistency requires that you have an ability to ignore all those shiny objects and to push through distractions and setbacks and interruptions and problems in life. And how do you do this? Well, you've got to learn how to handle overwhelm. Because life doesn't just happen. You design it, and you design it by your choices. And the power to choose is a gift and a right that's given to you by God. And you use this gift to create your life experiences by each of your moment-to-moment choices. So let's talk about overwhelm a little bit. How does overwhelm make you feel? What happens when you get overwhelmed is that pressure that you feel, it makes you want to just shut down and stop. You've got all these things that you have to get done. You have things that you should be doing, things that you should not be doing. If you're in a relationship and you're trying to figure out, one of my specialties is difficult relationships, namely emotional and verbal abuse, the non-fatal intimate partner battering relationships. I understand those very well, and that all of that manipulation and control, but just everyday healthy relationships. You have to figure out stuff, and if you're trying to figure out what's going on in a relationship, that can be extremely overwhelming. There's trying to figure out if you've got a problem going on with your kids. It's trying to solve that problem or dealing with it. It's very overwhelming. And needing more money, or wanting a better job or work that expresses you if you're a budding entrepreneur. So there is just so many things that are overwhelming. And then when you are creative and you are in that space and you are an entrepreneur and you are successful and you are thriving, you've got all the ideas, they flood in all at once. And the more that you work on the idea, the more it expands, which is juicy and it's wonderful and it's good, but it can be very overwhelming. So dealing with that internal feeling, dealing with that mind that's going on with your mind and that energy, that's what this mini course is going to help you with. I have some good news for you. You are not alone. You heard me right. You are not alone. Everyone suffers from time to time with overwhelm. And you also have a choice. You have a choice to not be locked into your situation with no options. And it's easy to fix this problem. The fix is simple, easy, and quick. You'll see. It's just your choice to take action on what your options are to reduce overwhelm. So you can keep consistently moving forward. Now, it doesn't mean that you're never going to stop or that you won't get deterred. That's unrealistic perfection. What I'm talking about is keeping moving forward. So you can remove overwhelm enough so that you can take those forward movements and gain what you desire in life to have. So let's get into how we do this. I'm going to be sharing with you 5 strategies that I use to remove overwhelm. Strategy number 1, reframe overwhelm. How you look at it, your attitude about it, your perception, the way that you perceive all the things going on is significant in dealing with overwhelm, because reframing opens up available energy. So if you are in that trance where you're saying to yourself, this is your self-talk or your self-think, and you're like, oh, where do I begin on this? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Or questioning, do I even have what it takes? Because you can be in the middle of something, big project or something. I mean, it's not that you're sitting home alone. I mean, you could be in the middle of commanding a big project and it have a lot of moving pieces. And you could be having that thought running through your head. I don't even know if I have what it takes. You're not telling anyone, but you're thinking, I don't know if I have what it takes to do this. You do. What you want to do is shift. You want to look at it differently. You want to transmute. I believe that's what the word is, when you want to change the energy. Don't have my dictionary with me right now. So, okay. So I've got a lot to do. Just that alone right there. I've got a lot to do. Okay, I've got a lot to do. See how it's a change in that energy. And also, I'm excited about it. So that feeling you're having, we're not in the woo fantasy land. It's not like poof, the feelings go away, but you can look at them differently. And that's something you can command in yourself. So you're like, okay, I've got a lot to do, and I'm excited about it. And even further, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to have so many options to choose from. And I feel blessed and alive. So instead of feeling down and overwhelmed, you can turn it into, I feel alive. And, I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. So you want to reframe as a strategy to reduce that negative catabolic energy and to change it into anabolic energy that gives you life, gives you the power to keep going. All right. Now, strategy number 2. You want to detach from the outcome. So you want to let go is the word. You want to stop running all those scenarios inside of your head about how things are going to turn out. And typically we run to the worst case scenario. So that's also a minus. So first of all, you just don't want to think too much don't overthink it. You want to just be in the moment, because it's really a waste. 90% of what you're thinking won't happen. It doesn't happen the way you thought. Think back on some things. Even recently, you went to go and do it and it turned out totally different. It's the way it always is. We don't have control. So you have your power in certain circles, certain areas. You don't have full control over everything and everybody. Okay? And you're going to have to know the difference. You want to spend your energy in the areas where you have control. So you've got this circle of concern. Those are things that you're concerned about, rightly so, but you're concerned about them. But there isn't a thing that you can do about it. You can't change it. Those things go into your circle of concern. Then you've got the things that would be under your control, the things that you can do something about, the things that that you've got some impact on. That is your circle of influence, what you can control. That's where you want to spend your energy, in that circle. And I'm even going to drill down more about that circle. I'm going to give you 4 different ways to look at that, okay? So when you've got a group of things to do, the first thing you want to do is sort them. Is this something I can control, I have any control over? Or is it just something I'm concerned about? If it's something you're just concerned about, let it go. Release all that energy to be used for what you need to be doing right now. Just let it go. Now, with regards to the things that you do have control over, your circle of influence, you can even look at it a little deeper. So you can look and see, okay, now I have minimal control. Well, I said 4. So actually, let me step back here. There's 0 control, which goes into your circle of concern. That's like weather in your past. You can't do anything about that. It's done. There's no ability to affect a change on that. But getting into things that you're thinking that, you might be able to control. Well, you've got minimum control over some things like when you go to vote, or recycling for the economy, or oh my goodness, for climate, to take care of this great earth that we have. It's very good to recycle, but you recycling by yourself is not going to change much, but you should do it. And you voting will not put somebody in office, but you should do it, because collectively they all work together for the good. So collectively, those are things. So think about, what things do I have am I working on right now that I have collective control over, but very minimum control, but not absolute control. Those are things that go into that one category there. Then you've got your direct influence. And those are things that your actions can change. So if you are in multi-level marketing, you know that if you approach more prospects, you can make more money. You can have more recruits. Or if you were in sales, you know that if you change your technique and you're more influential and you're better at your sales tactic, that there's a good chance that you can make a higher percentage of money that you could make if you just did average work. Or if you're in marketing, if your copy is better, and if you really take the time to market, and you got your images and the way you present yourself, your branding, you know that you can affect that. Those are actions that you take that can have some direct influence, but you can't make someone buy. You can't make someone say yes. You can't make someone click, but you can directly influence what they might do. And then the 4th is absolute control. Now, this is what you have absolute control over. Only you. Yourself. You only have control over yourself. You don't have control over your husband, your spouse, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend, your neighbor, your coworker. You only have control over yourself. That's your thoughts. You have control over what you think. No one makes you mad, makes you think anything. Those are your thoughts. You have control how you feel. You have control of your attitude, your beliefs, your self-talk. You have control of your focus, something that we're going to be hitting on very soon. You have control of your actions. Now, you want to spend time on number 4, absolute control. And you want to let go of all the others, because this is going to release energy, the energy you need to keep moving forward. All right, let's go to strategy number 3. Just take the next right action. That is something I want you to never, ever, ever forget. I think that was one of the most genius things I have ever heard, because I have I don't have a problem coming with ideas. I don't have any problem coming up with ideas. I don't have any problems with coming up with things, options, and things that I can do. Or even if I'm wondering or I'm really stuck with, I don't know which one to take, this tip right here, this strategy has saved me. Just take the next right action, especially when, even though I have a lot of ideas, or I'm not sure. I just don't know what to do next. Just take the next right action is all you have to do. When you're not sure which one's the best one, which one's the right one, you do know 100%, and you're lying if you say you don't. You do know what the next right action is. That's all you need to do. Because you're not going to be shown the how. So and that's another thing about very, very successful people versus people who want what they have but don't want to work for it. They assume that all y'all knew how to do it. I don't have nobody to show me how. They didn't get shown how. It takes courage. They're facing uncertainty, just like you are. They're not shown the how. You're not shown the how. At most, you'll be shown 2 steps ahead. At most. I have never been shown the whole how. If all the things that people said, how in the world, Lana, did you do that? How did you go to college with 4 kids straight after a divorce, after discovering you were in a relationship that was emotionally and verbally abusive, and you got out of that? How did you get out of that? How did you go to school? How did you graduate summa cum laude? How in the world did you do all this? I just took the next right step. I just took it. You've got to take the step. And so the next thing after will be shown after you've taken the next right step. So you first have to take the first step before you're going to get the next one. That path, it gets made known to you. God's not a respecter of persons. He doesn't like one person more than the other. He doesn't give anyone more than the other. You all come here, or we all come here with this even footing. So we get to take our next right steps, get shown the next step, and then take that step. So you don't need to know everything. You don't have to know it all first. You already know what the action is you need to take. And things always work out. Strategy number 4. You need to focus on the next right step. You know you need to take the next right step. Now you need to just focus on that. The rest, everything else, will take care of itself. It's never, ever, ever going to be perfect. You can't get it perfect. You can have some pretty, things you're pretty darn proud of. But, there isn't a perfection doesn't exist. And it's okay. It's not supposed to exist. What exists is quality, excellence. Those aren't perfection. That's just doing a good job. And done is better than perfect. So just know that the rest is going to take care of itself. You don't need to know it all. You don't have to have it all figured out first. Just take the step in front of you. And it's not going to happen the way that you planned it to. It's going to happen the way it happens. So it's not going to be perfect. Just focus on one right action. Doing that will dissolve that uncertainty and fear. That's how we do it. Because you don't stay in the fear. You feel the fear, and then you take the action, and then it dissipates. And then you learn. You gain all this wisdom, all this knowledge, and then you see differently. You see more. And then when you go to take the next step, you feel afraid again. I'm not going to tell you fear goes away. I've not known it to be. I could have gotten used to something where I'm not so scared of it, but there's still that apprehension. But there's so much gain from taking action. That courage that comes from taking action, and that wisdom, that insight that comes, that only can come from taking action. It's more beneficial than sitting and frozen in perfectionism and procrastination because you don't know everything yet, because you feel like you've got to figure it out first. Remember, things always work out. So, after that, what do you do then? Strategy number 5, you do something now, like right now. You don't stop. Okay, so you know your next step. Don't go make it pretty. Don't go fix it up and figure out how to do that perfectly. Just do imperfect action. Take it. Do it. It doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to know the perfect step to take and then do it perfectly. You just need to move. So don't stop to take the time to get it right. That is just being a perfectionist and a procrastinator. You just need to do it like Nike says. And remember that anything done now is better than something later. Anything. So do a small action, and it doesn't have to be some grand gesture either. It's whatever the next step is, do it. Pick up that glass and set it here. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. Just do it. If you got like a real lot of mess and you need to pick up stuff, pick up that piece of paper and put it in the trash. That's the next step. Of course, you're overwhelmed. You don't know how to make this organized. Well, you're only going to know by taking step after step. So that it gives you such a bonus, which is that it creates the momentum you need. It gives you it gives you what you need to accomplish the task just by taking the right next action and doing it now. So now it is time for you to implement these proven processes that remove inner chaos so that you can have less anxiety, more productivity, and more happiness. I am going to give you a chance to be able to implement this with a process here. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to get paper and pencil. And you'll thank me later. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me know on Facebook how these tips are working out for you. All right, so go ahead and get your paper and pencil. I'm going to wait here a couple of seconds. All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to take all that stuff that's inside of your head. I'm talking everything. All of the things that you've been told you need to get done. All the things you're telling yourself you need to get done. All the things that you're thinking about. The things that you're feeling. The things that you're hoping for. The things that you're wanting. The things that you're struggling with. The things that just, that are just swimming around inside of your head, getting all getting you all foggy. It's just, you're going to take the time to write it all down, even if it's not anything that's going to go in a category. We just want to dump. You're just going to dump it on paper. That alone is just going to make you feel better in the next 30 seconds. So if you're an action taker and you really want to get rid of overwhelm, I want you to take now and write down your thoughts. Write down, when I mean your thoughts, all the stuff that is transpiring inside of you, get it down on paper. Go ahead and pause this recording and get all of that down on paper, and then meet me back here. All ready? Go. Okay, so welcome back and good job. Thank you for taking action. So you've got a bunch of stuff written down. Now what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line, going to scratch out everything that is out of your control. Remember what we talked about? You're going to just scratch out, put a line through every single thing that you have no control over. Go ahead and pause this video and do that now. And I'll meet you back here in a few seconds. All right. Again, great job to those of you that take action, and speaking to you directly for taking action. That's what makes life happen. And it only takes a few seconds out of your day to do this. So thank you for taking action. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is put a line through anything that makes you feel like, I don't care about this. Like, I have no passion for this. I have no interest in this. Okay, I know there's some things you got to do that are distasteful that you don't want to do. You know the things that you got to do that you can't get away from. You know, you can't not feed your kids. You can't not take your child to school. But things that you just, you know, they're things that you could do. They're things that you should do, maybe, you know, should. I'm not saying have to or really have to. We can reframe that to I want to, but they're not anything that if you don't do them this year, everything will be okay. So you're going to draw a line through anything that makes you feel like, so what? I'm going to give you some time to do that and meet me back here when that's done. All right, very good. Now what you should have is a list of things that you want to commit to. Now, any one of these things are good things. They're things that would bring about a good return. And they're things that, you know, these are your things that you want to do. Just because you cross those other things out, which I should have added, and you can go back and do now, doesn't mean you can't do them. I mean, so don't get legalistic. Like, if I cross that out, that means I'm saying I'm not going to do it. Nope, that's not what's happening. What you're doing is giving yourself the option to see, the option to make a choice. And so what you have done now is you have revealed the things that you want to commit to. So now what we want to do is we want to pick just one. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And I'm going to tell you about how to take a deep breath. So when you're breathing in, you want to put your hand on your stomach, and you want to push air up. You want to feel your stomach rise, and you want to feel your stomach concave. You want to take deep diaphragmatic breaths, and that is going to help to clear your mind. It's going to help to reduce perfection. It's going to help you to choose, to let yourself choose, to give yourself the space to just be honest with yourself and choose from within. So I'm going to lead you here in some deep breaths. So I want you just to close your eyes, and I want you to breathe in deeply for 3 seconds. And I've got a clock here. So starting now. 1, 2, 3. All right, breathe out. Very good. Let's take another deep breath. 1, 2, 3, and then breathe out. And then one more deep breath. 1, 2, 3, and then breathe out. And just breathe normally. And I want you to choose one thing to focus on. You got it? Good. Now, what is your next right action for that focus? Write that down. Write down what your focus is, and write down what you know to be. You already know this. What your next right action is. Very good. Now, take immediate action on that. You can pause the video and go take immediate action now, or you can do it right after we're done. After you do take that next right action, I've got some questions for you to ask yourself and some next steps for you. But you want to strike when the iron is hot, because you want to remember that this creates your momentum, and it is what unlocks what the next step is. So if you really want to achieve and you really want to aspire, then you're going to have to take steps. All you can do is take one step at a time. So to get this momentum and to unlock the next step, you have to do the first. So take immediate action on this. And here's what's next. Ask yourself, or write down what happened. Write down what happened. You're going to see that what you feared didn't happen, and what you thought and how long you thought it was going to take didn't happen. And then you might even surprise yourself with what happened. More came out of it, most likely. Was it what you expected? And now, what is your next right action? Write that down and take that action. And that's it. That's just how easy this is. You got to just constantly refocus and reframe. Refocus and reframe. That's what you need to be thinking. That's your mantra. You just keep focus, bring yourself back to focus, and reframe your mindset. Reframe it. That's how you handle when overwhelm comes on you. So, just to recap, what we did today was strategy number 1 was to reframe overwhelm. Shift your attitude. Just do the next right thing. Don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't have to know it all first. Just do the next right thing. And detach from the outcome. Just let go of the end result. Focus on the next right thing. Put your attention on solely what the next right thing is. Put all that focused energy on that. And do something now. Simple action. Because anything done now is better than doing nothing at all. And done is better than perfect. Well, thank you for watching this training or obtaining this training. I would love to get your thoughts on how this has helped you. You can meet me at my Facebook group or my Facebook page, actually, on my website. It's conveniently located that you can just click there. It will take you directly to the Facebook page, and that's at www.freetothrivecoaching.com. And as a VIP member in my Thrive Time community, you will continue to get notifications when I come out with additional trainings that are available for you for free. All right. Well, be empowered and grow and get free to thrive.